Here on the plains of Erlitou, a new town shall be established. The nearby river will provide plentiful quantities of delicious fish, and the fertile soil is ideal for bountiful harvests of nutritious wheat. Additional food can be imported from Hemudu or Banpo as necessary. As before, fine ceramics can be produced at kilns. It has been said that wonderful gifts come in small packages, and so it is true with the tiny silkworm. This marvelous creature, when fed a diet of tender mulberry leaves, produces a delicate strand of precious silk. Weavers can then meld these fragile filaments into luxurious garments, which are already highly prized by the growing number of new elite. Your village, in fact, needs a special neighborhood reserved for a number of these prosperous citizens. As word spreads of the beautiful silk being produced at your town, do not be too surprised if a greedy neighbor asks for some samples.
G'day mates, welcome back to Emperor. This time we're heading off to a brand new city. We're going to be learning about, by the sounds of it, about the elite noble houses and how to produce a new good. So let's dive on into the city and... Yep, building a new city from scratch. Now they do give you a couple of hints. Actually, I'll bring that up just to show it. They do give you a couple of hints on how to lay out the city. So for example, putting elite housing up here and using this already constructed area, the road in the background for the general housing and so on and so forth. But it's not too difficult to figure out. Now, how does my little housing look? I tend to go a 24 by 7 rectangle, which gives me enough space in the middle. How long is this particular one? I'm not sure, but you know what, I think I will just leave it for the time being, because it will fit all the houses we need. So we'll put those in here. Can we build? Aha, so there's new types of roads you can build. The Grand Way. These work a little bit like plazas in the previous games. So you essentially place them on like that. What they do is they expand the size of the road. So the road now is actually a 2 wide little thing. It still only functions effectively as 1 wide, so people won't get lost on it, but it does beautify the area around it. So I'll beautify those up, and there we go. That should keep this all looking very nice. I think that's good enough there. I'll throw a couple more houses down. I'm going to get set up and I'll meet you back shortly. Okay, we're all nicely set up right now. You can see most of these things are sort of beginning to beautify up. For example, the well now has become this beautiful dragon-looking one. So people are still moving in, and thankfully everything down here has been placed with perfect feng shui so far. You're going to be a... I want you to be a hemp and a ceramics accepting joint. We can also do a lot of our construction stuff, our production down here. This one over here is going to be for food. We're going to accept... do I want all 4 types? No, probably don't. For now, I want fish, and what can we grow? We can grow wheat. So wheat and fish are the only 2 things we can produce here. So rice and millet can actually just not be accepted. And we'll put it that way, wheat and fish we'll hold in our storage yard, and anything else we have to import later, we can bring in and just have in the trading warehouse. So to that end, yep, there we go, 8 of each. Now that'll allow us to get everything set up. I probably should have had this mill over here somewhere, because we'll have our noble people up here, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm pretty comfortable where that is. Now, in terms of farming, where am I going to do farming? I'm not sure. I think we'll start off with fish to begin with. So I'll throw down a bunch of fishing keys along here. Probably 4 should be sufficient. And that'll get me all set up. Throw an inspector's tower down as required. Thankfully they don't need to go up and get access to labour, unlike older games. So this one, and I'll throw you over there, and that should give you, near those rocks, give you the feng shui to patrol this entire area. Alrighty, now that all the farms have been set up, we're going to jump off to the world map and have a look at what we've got around us. We've got Bampo, Hemdu, and Dawan Cow or something. So let's just have a quick look what we can produce. We've got clay pits, we've got kilns, jade carver studios. So if my memory serves me correct, these guys will sell us jade and they will buy carved jade. So what we can do is actually send off a little bit of cash. We haven't produced anything just yet, so we'll send off cash to each of these people here. And I think we'll also send some off to Bumpo. That's 1,500 we've just given out. So a little bit expensive, but we'll send that cash off to those guys and get them sort of on our good side. It'll also let us know what they'll buy and sell, so we can set up our trading as required. 100 people, brilliant. So we're bringing in more people here. The farms will eventually kick into gear as required. Now what I've done is I've actually, I mentioned it I think last episode, but I've got these areas, they will actually share some of these, so they can go out up to 3. So I believe they can go up to, this farm here can cover this area, and that farm there can cover that area. So they will actually share their fields in the middle here and get a bigger yield out of that centre bit. It's similar here. These are 4 squares apart instead of 6 squares. So there's a tiny little bit of overlap on one of the squares. So this farm, for example, can do out to here. And that will allow them to farm that more effectively, I think. Okay, gifts have been received by the various people. They need silk and ceramics. They also sell me jade and rice. They will buy the carved jade, ceramics as well. That's brilliant. And you will buy jade. I'm not going to sell you jade because I can't produce it myself. But silk. So it looks like silk will be where we're going to go from here. So to that end, I think I'm going to do this now. So much like farms, like a hemp farm or something, you build an orchard shed and you place them down somewhere and then you throw the orchards around them as normal. So I'll set that up now and we'll have everything ready for export. Okay, people are being fed up nicely with their plain food. Their bland food. We'll be moving on to plain food shortly. Once these guys, of course, need to get up there. I'm going to need a couple more fishing huts, I think. So let's go and throw down a couple more over here, just to ensure that they. There we go, and I'll knock you out. There we go. That should get all those guys fished up nicely. So the way they fish, they actually use cormorants, which is a type of water bird. Now what the cormorants do, they've got a ring around their neck. So they go down, they're on like a lead. They go down, they pick up the fish, but they can't actually swallow it due to the ring around their neck. And then they bring them up and you know, obviously the person takes it out of their mouth, stores it in their basket, and they can bring it back and eat their fish. Humans can eat the fish. Another way I've heard done is that they actually train them so that I think it's every 5 fish they catch, they can keep 1 for themselves. So the cormorants catch, you know, they catch, say, 10 fish, they can keep 2. And they're trained so that they know that they will voluntarily release each fish until they get to theirs, which they will then swallow. So I'm not sure which is the correct way. I have heard both of them used, or at least described that way. Now the silk up here, silk's a little bit different. It's a little bit like making pottery or ceramics or something. You grow the raw silk, which then gets taken down to the weavers down here. Now I do need a couple more workers, but I am working on that gradually. Now it'll take it down, and the workers down here will then weave that silk into, beautify this area up a little bit, they'll then weave that silk into actual proper silk, and that proper silk we can then store it here and trade off as required. Raw silk by itself has a very low value and not many people will buy it. Now we'll have a look here. They will buy carved jade. I think we'll start with Hemdu, who will buy silk and ceramics, so we can sell a lot of that off. We can also bring in the jade that we might need. So let's open up trade with them, and then we can sell off our silk, and I think we can start our pottery or ceramic production down here shortly. Okay, we're actually a fair bit into debt at the moment. That's a little bit of a problem, but we don't have enough people for our ceramics just yet. But these houses have just leveled up, and so we're now moving people in, and that will get everything going well. The silk as well should begin building up. Nope, of course not, because we still need industry. So that's agriculture. So they will grow that. They have no silk stored at the moment, but that will grow shortly. April is next season, and of course food is about to be grown in March. So we are working on getting everything sorted. We just had a little bit of a slow start because I didn't build enough houses. So to that end, I'm going to throw down just a couple more over here to bump our population up slightly. I'm going to put a couple down that are not in a harmonious location, just because we do need the additional people. Now hopefully we can get out of debt shortly once we get enough people. Looks like everything here is starting to Okay, they want 2 bolts of silk. I will have to stockpile some up. I think we're going to cut those down and just work on what we've got here for now. Okay, I've got 2 bolts of silk stored up. I think, how do we actually send this off? Nope. We have to fulfill the city's request. Send off those 2 bolts of silk and they will be very happy with that afterwards. Unfortunately, it means we can't sell them and get out of debt, but no doubt we will get there shortly once we get this next year's silk harvest in. Okay, I've started importing rice as well. I don't actually need the rice necessarily, but it probably should hold back on that for the time being. I'm going to cut that off for now. So let's just make sure that the desired quality stays at plain food for now. I don't want to feed these people appetizing food because it will send our unemployment through the roof. So I'm fairly happy with what we've got. They will stay where they are. I actually probably need to, yeah, but I keep forgetting. There's lots of things I need to keep on top of here. But we'll send off an offering to the gods and keep everything ticking along. Hopefully we'll be able to get out of, now that we've got the correct population, we'll be able to start selling off all the silk and that'll get us out of debt. They can buy a hell of a lot of it. Okay, we are finally out of debt, which is great news. What I can do now is actually start getting some carved jade. So we're going to accept, I'll bring you down, but we're also going to accept carved jade over here. Bring that to 12 and throw down just a couple of jade carvers studios. I reckon, actually that's probably more than sufficient. That'll allow us to buy in all the jade we need and start carving it up for export to these guys over here. Now they require hemp and ceramics. So I think we'll just send a request and see if we can open trade with them. If they reject that, we can give them some of our stuff, send that over quite easily. Okay, they did reject my plea for a trade agreement. What I reckon we can do though is tempt them a little bit. We have 400 pieces of carved jade in there now, so let's tempt them a little bit. We'll send them some, give them a gift of carved jade, and they will be mightily impressed with that. And that'll allow us to then trade with them. In the meantime, it allows us to stockpile up a bit more as well. And there we go, trade with Darwin Carl has now opened up. They're very, very happy at that previous gift. So we'll build another little trading post over to these guys here, and we will sell them. I won't sell our hemp at the moment, but I'll sell off, no, I'm not going to sell, I'll sell the carved jade only. They'll only buy 12 a year, so we're probably doing a bit of overkill here, but that's fine for now. I think we'll keep everything else stockpiled as it is for the time being. Do need appetizing food to go any further, but I think I'm going to actually just focus on building up a little noble quarters up here. Now my normal noble quarters is 19 by 12, but we don't need that many people, and I don't think that's quite going to fit here. So, I'm going to play around a little bit anyway and see if I can figure out how to get this going. Okay, elite housing works a little bit differently. You don't level up regular housing into elite housing. In this case, you actually place them down directly. Now they require ceramics in store and they require hemp in store. So we're going to throw down some of those highly desirable areas. Is this not highly desirable? Well, that's a bit shit. Let's throw down some gardens behind them. There we go. That'll be very beautiful now. And where was the rest of them placed? Over here, I think. And here we go. We have ourselves a nice little area fully stocked up. Now, generally what you want to do is throw down, for noble housing at least, you want to throw down a grand market square. Now it's a little bit larger as you can see, and it will hold 6 shops instead of 4. This mission though, we only have 4, so we won't be leveling up our noble housing all the way to the top. So to that end, just a regular market square will handle these guys. Now, I do require appetizing food, so I'm going to level it up to only get appetizing food, and we're going to start importing the rice again. While we're there, oh no, we're harvesting wheat shortly. I may actually need to throw down another wheat farm down here just to keep up with everything. Seems that we are eating a hell of a lot of food. The other option is, of course, to see what we can import, and they will produce millet. So I can actually get, I might be able to get something from these guys as well, import the millet as a 4th food type. But we'll see how we go in the future. And here we go, our lavish Sihuan, I don't know how to pronounce that one, but those are the houses we need. We need 40 people in those. We currently have 25, but each one of these will hold 10 people. So we just need the people to move in, and with that we'll have won the mission. Down here, these people will require ceramics to level up, but I haven't actually distributed any of that just yet because we should have enough unemployment. 1% is great. I can always throw more down if required. But as soon as these people move in, we'll be able to move on to the next mission.
You have done well. With your guiding hand, the town of Erlitou is off to a most auspicious start. Fine silk from its talented weavers adorns the town's elite and is also making a name for itself throughout the region. Riches are flowing into the town's coffers.
Most auspicious indeed. With that, guys, we've finished Erlitou. We'll be moving on to the next episode, the next city. Who knows where we're going next? We may even return back to Banpao. Let's see what happens. Take care, guys. I'll see you around.